Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Luminous coming at you once again with the Pro Dota commentary. This is game 2 of the ADC round 1 matches between LGD and Nirvana China. I casted game 1 a day ago, and it was a very exciting game between these two very top-notch Chinese teams. I recommend you to check that one out before checking this commentary out. And close your ears, because if you haven't checked that game out, I will be spoiling the result of that game. Nirvana just played it really well. They got a little bit messy during mid game, while LGD got a nice kind of run for a comeback, but the little disadvantage they dug for themselves was a bit too much. Nirvana just dug down, farmed up their Morphling, and a late game Morphling was too much to handle. You can see that Nirvana going back to the Morphling pick, seeing that it has worked so splendidly for their game 1, gonna try for it again. So I'm gonna have this replays paused somewhere, and then I'm gonna talk about the picks and bans and what's been going on into the commentaries. So there is a viewers game, but by the time I think this video is released, the viewers game should be over. So I'm gonna say I had a blast playing that game, man. Even before I knew what happened. But honestly, all the viewers games are generally very exciting. So let's see. And also we have a Dota we're calling it DC commentary competition, and I'll try to get to the right time. Okay, I'm paused at 10:26, so if you guys are listening on the MP3, get there. We're having a DC commentator competition, which basically is we're asking viewers like yourself to submit a commentary, and we have a competition. The winner will have their commentary featured on Dota commentaries. And I think Ian was suggesting whether the winner also gets an opportunity to do a dual commentary with one of the DC staff members. So either myself or Ian or Jack or someone like that. I'm not too sure about that, but if you are interested, I will put a link up here, or you could just check out the front page of DotaCommentaries.com, and there is more information on that. Also, a little update on the staff writers. We have narrowed it down to maybe 3 or 4 writers that were really were interested in. We have received a lot of articles that are great, and you're gonna see a message from DotaCommentaries.com staff members in the future about that as well. So let's move back onto this game. So LGD getting semi-stomp on the first game. Not exactly a stomp. It was a hard-fought game. And look at their picks, man. Look at their picks. Look at how push-oriented it is. Brewmother pushed very well. Vengeful Spirit, Pugna, Witch Doctor, and Venomancer. Pugna and Venomancer are great pushers, but they're not exactly limited to pushing either. Obviously, they could put a lot of they could put a lot of pressure on towers, but they're not limited to it as well. They do have a lot of slows, a lot of stuns, and a lot of burst damage. So they could do a kind of a semi-gank, semi-push strat, and they're definitely not restricting themselves in any way and form. LGD, or Nirvana, after their stellar performance with PIS and Morphling, they're going to pick Morphling again, and so is the Puck. Now these two heroes could counter push fairly well with their the ability to AoE nuke, and if you can see, all of their heroes could AoE nuke fairly well. Other than the Crystal Maiden, they could dump a lot of spells on the creep waves, so this in theory could prevent LGD from being able to push. But you gotta keep in mind that LGD could gank very well, and I'm not too sure whether this lineup could stand against the ganking lineup of LGD. The Scourge lineup is a little bit squishy. Puck, Crystal Maiden, Windrunner, and Morphling are squishy heroes. And Sven, again, we're seeing Sven once again. I'm not too sure whether I like this pick. And really, it depends on how the Scourge is going to line up. Judging from this, it looks like to be another tri-lane of Sven. And which, again, if you watch my previous commentary, you know why I don't like tri-lane on Sven. If he goes into tri-lane, I'll explain it why I don't like it again, but we'll see from there. So I have to say I like LGD's lineup a lot better, and I'm not too sure whether this is a byproduct of a 6.68 kind of a CM mode. If you look at LGD's first 3 bans, they ban pretty obscure heroes, pretty standard bans, but the 4th and 5th bans kind of, well, the 4th and 5th ban, they ban 2 very good counter pushing hero, because Nevermore could just raise down crit wave very easily, and it's really hard to push against the Alchemist with the acid spray. And I think banning these two heroes kind of is indicative of they're going a push strat. And also these two heroes are very good, you know, mid game heroes. So maybe the LGD is looking for mid game's dominant strategy, whereas Nirvana is looking more towards the late game dominance with the Morphling, Windrunner, and somewhat with the Puck as well. So we'll see how it plays out. So I hope you guys that are listening on the MP3 have it paused at the 10:26 mark. If not there, pause this MP3 and get there, because I will pause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. 10:27, 10:28, 10:29, 10:30. Hope you guys are synced up. We do have PIS this time playing the Windrunner, and with Nirvana Joe playing the Morphling. Last time PIS showed us a very good Morphling, but now they're gonna swap it off and play a different hero. So let's see how the laning stage is going to be, and we do have YYF going on the missile. Last time we see ZSMJ going missile, so both teams switching the players up, and with the departure of 2009, a lot of these players have been put again in the mid lane for the mid solo. I'm not too sure if anyone is a good replacement for 2009, but Yeyefeng is definitely a great player to do it. And let's see who is going to be facing up against Miss Solo for him. I believe that is going to be a Puck. So we're going to see a Puck versus Puck and a Miss Solo. That is always going to be a very good lane to watch out. On the bottom lane, we're going to see a Broodmother played by ZSMJ and Yafit on the Windrunner. So this is going to be also, well, I'm not too sure whether that's going to be an action intensive lane, because it's going to be just harass and whatnot. But this top lane we're going to watch out for. It is Chris Bugs, Venomancer, GX Witch Doctor, and who is that last person? It's gonna be Shuriken's Vengeful Spirit. So this is a tri support versus a Morphling farm, and we're gonna see a Sven in trialing. I never really like Sven in trialing. Again, I'm gonna tell you why. Sven in trialing, usually tri-lanes fights last for at least 10-20 seconds, so that's enough time for you to chuck off 2 spells. And if you look at Sven, not enough mana to chuck off 2 spells. You need a clarity throughout, but again, that fight, it's going to be really hectic. There's going to be creeps hitting everywhere. There's going to be AoE spells splashing everywhere, so it's very unlikely for a Sven to throw off 2 Stormbolt in a single fight, whereas all the other heroes are very easily to throw off 2 spells. As we see this initiation going on the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is going to take a lot of damage. There's a Frost over. There is a waveform. So Witch Doctor completely in trouble. He hasn't even thrown off his cask yet. A little bit panicky. It looks like they have picked off Witch Doctor, but in the favor, trading away the Morphling. So definitely not a good trade here. You can see the Sven not able to Stormbolt again because no mana. They could freely pick off the this Crystal Maiden because of the lack of support from the Sven, and that's why I really don't like Sven in the tri lane, and really LGD punishing the Sven. We do see Morphling coming back in, the Venom a little bit too low. He needs to really lead a lot of tangos. No salve there, so he is really in trouble until he gets support. Now it looks like the Vengeful Spirit will salve for him. So nice little trade up there. It looks like level 2 Venomancer will pick up the Ring of Basilius. That would really help out their push and their lane control and getting more mana. Venomancer a little bit out of position. He should really be careful. There is Warcry coming in. He is going to take Stormbolt to the face, and he is going to take another waveform, and my god, Venomancer is completely in trouble. No, he is going to dodge behind the trees. The Sven will fall down. Venomancer in trouble as well. He has no salve. Keep in mind that he's going to juke in the tree. Let's see how long he's going to stay alive. He is going to try to pick off the Crystal Maiden. They will pick off Crystal Maiden as well. That Morphling a little bit in trouble. He is going to waveform out. So it's very action intensive at top lane. Already 4-2 in favor of Sentinel. And LGD doing a very good job dominating his tri-lane. I gotta say, man, Sven not good in tri-lane, showcasing throughout here. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we do see ZSMJ only at 4-0. We do see Yafit at 8-6, so he is really getting outlaned by Yafit here. And those little bit spider harass. It's really interesting to see whether ZSMJ is going to take the pushing route with the spiders, or he's going to shoot them into the jungle for kind of jungling with those little broodlings, because it's really hard to push against an AoE intensive hero like Windrunner. And look exactly what it is. ZSMJ 蛛丝马迹 is actually 蛛丝马迹 literally translate into spider's tracks here, as you see spider track, and I guess only Chinese viewers is gonna get that joke. But anyways, moving on to mid lane, oh no, look at the top lane. There's a lot of actions going on still. They're gonna focus on the Sven here. Sven again out of position. That tri-lane is not really working out. LGD Shuriken, LGD Shuriken. No, not Shuriken. LGD GX already picking up a killing spree on this Witch Doctor. So that Witch Doctor is going to pick up a fairly quick treads. That is going to really help out in terms of his survivability and whatnot here. And Chris Bug is just being hella annoying with those Plague Wards. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see Pugna versus the Puck here. And 13-3 and 9-6. So Pugna doing not a bad job. YOF CSing fairly well. He is going to be nether blasting away those creeps. And we will see a lot of pressure being pushed up. Keep in mind that nether blast does a lot of damage to tower. You cannot glyph it. And there's nothing really much you could do about it. So I mean, yeah, he is going to push really, really well. Of course, Illusionary Orb could push against creeps as well, but you can see that blast does some damage to the tower, this damage to the creeps, and with the what do you call it, the Ring of Basilius on the Pugna, he could give the creep armor to his creeps to be pushing really well. And meanwhile, more initiation going on the top lane, more away from going on the Venge. Venge is probably gonna fall down. He's gonna take some damage. Vengeful Spirit popping the magic cell, popping the magic missile. Pop off a couple more stuns, and you can see that Vengeful Spirit, despite knowing he's gonna die, did everything he can to cast all his spells before he died. If you're gonna die, might as well cast all your spells. And on the bottom, we can see ZSMJ picking up a lot of mana regeneration, picking up a Soul Ring as well, and you can see that he's sending all of his spiderlings into the jungle. Doing a good job. He definitely, that's not a bad way to play Broodmother. A lot of Broodmother players, I've noticed, if they're up against a nuke-intensive lineup, all they do is they gotta say, well, you know, they nuke me really hard, so I gotta pump out even more and more spiders. ZSMJ is showing the answer is that you don't have to pump out more spiders. Send your spiders into the jungle for neutral. That's a lot of extra gold you could earn in the jungle. And I mean, these guys are pretty much expendable. You could just kill a creep. That's 4 spiderlings, send it into the jungle, and I mean, that's a couple of creep camps here. You can see this tri-lane is still very, very action intensive, and looks like they're gonna dive on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden doing a good job getting out of harm's way here, but these guys are gonna take these creep, and with the Venom Wards, they could actually you know, take these camp as well if they pull it there. So really, really high action on the top tri-lanes against each other. We do see that Joe is sitting at 20-7, so not too bad in terms of farming. But let's see, this tri-lane really is farming fairly well as well, with Venomancer picking up the bulk of CS, and Venomancer is being really annoying with those Plague Wards here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do see both people splitting up to find a rune here. Pugna is gonna pick up an Invis rune, so he is gonna go top lane. Probably gonna kill hit there, and probably gonna push the top tower as well. We do see Pugna invisible. He's probably gonna backstab from behind. And let's see how this is going to play out. Venawar is going to be putting out, and let's see if there's going to be a good ward from Pugna. There is going to be a ward. There should be a waveform. He is going to waveform out, and what a chain stun against 4. These guys are clumping like champs here. Sven smartly TPing out. He is going to be okay, so not the best gank coming from Pugna. But regardless, they are going to pick off a tower kill fairly easily because they do have Pugna. We do have a wards warding away the Crystal Maiden there. So I think they will pick off the tower. Yeah, there is a lot of Venom wards being placed off. And I think with that, they should be okay in picking off that tower. So the first tower falls for the Scourge team, and Sentinel doing it really exerting the early game dominance, the mid game dominance lineup.